Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's a follow-up video on the Solar E guitar that we unboxed a few weeks ago. Now I've had a few weeks to play the guitar and get to know it a little better. There's a lot of things I like about it, and there's a few I kind of don't like about it. So we're just going to jump right into it, guys. We're just going to jump right into some of the things that I don't like about this guitar. Now these aren't necessarily deal breakers, but they are something to take notice of. Alright, one of the very first things I'm nitpicking at on this guitar is the back of the neck. Now this is an unfinished neck, which is fine. I mean this neck is super smooth, super fast. Now the only nitpick I have about it is because it doesn't match the body. It isn't white. I think that would have made this guitar look a little bit more high end. Whereas their black version of this, it's the exact same guitar, exact same specs. And the back of the neck on that one is painted, so that would have made these look a little bit more high-end, a little bit more nicer in my opinion. Another thing, guys, the bridge on these is super cheap. These are painted instead of plated, and the string slots on this bridge is already starting to wear, especially on the low E string and the A string. And these are super light strings on this, so if you guys decide to put some heavy gauge strings on this guitar, it's going to chew that bridge up real fast. Now another nitpick I have about this guitar, guys, is the 3-way selector switch. I mean, it's fine, it does its job, but it is kind of stiff to operate. But this is one of the big old block style ones, so this is like the cheapest one you can get, which, I mean, for the price, I understand that, but just something to look out for. The last nitpick, guys, is the tuning stability on this guitar. Now the nut isn't cut correctly. It's a little bit higher than what it should be. Now mine, I kind of went in with some nut slot files, just kind of touched them up a little bit so the strings wouldn't catch in there. And I also took some graphite from a pencil and put that in the nut slots to kind of make the strings glide through a little bit more easier to help with tuning stability. And that did help it some, but as you play it, especially on the lower strings, it does tend to go slightly out of tune. Really, guys, I think the reason to that comes down to this is a 24-inch scale guitar, which this is slightly smaller scale length than a Gibson guitar. So that probably explains the tuning instability on this one. So later on, when these strings wear out, I'm going to definitely go up a string gauge higher. These feel like 9s on this, so I'm going to go to 10s. But I think that would solve the tuning stability issue on this. And also changing that nut out, and probably changing the bridge out also would probably solve that. Now for the things I do like about this guitar. Overall, this is an extremely nice playing guitar. I checked the truss rod, just as super smooth. It adjusted just as smooth as a lot of my more higher end guitars, so that was nice. And it was super responsive. Just a slight turn here and there, and the neck would move like it should, so that's all you can ask for. Another thing I like about this guitar, guys, I know I said I had an issue with it previously, but the neck on this guitar, guys, super smooth, super fast, and I really like the neck shape. A lot of other reviewers online said this was like a more chunkier neck, but I don't find that to be the case on my particular one. Rounded C, I would say, but it's real enjoyable to play, and I've got no issues with it at all. It plays amazing. Another thing I like about this guitar, guys, is the bevels on the body. Just make it super comfortable when you're playing. A lot of Explorers tend to dig into your arm slightly on this edge here as you're playing. Not a problem with this one. It's got that bevel. Just super smooth, man. Just super smooth, super comfortable. Doesn't fatigue you to play at all. And the way it's beveled all the way around the body, Just kind of looks like a sharp weapon. But yeah, it's real cool, man. Another thing I like about it, guys, is this neck joint. It doesn't get in your way when you're going up to the higher frets. A lot of these bolt-on neck guitars, guys, have that old big square neck pocket, and you just can't do anything around that. But this one is rounded off, and it's real nice. It doesn't bother you at all to get up to that 22nd fret. Another thing I like about this guitar, guys, is the pickups. Now, I do plan to mod this guitar in the future sometime, guys. And these pickups, for now, they're just going to stay because I really like them. They're real responsive. They have a lot of mid-range bite to them. They don't have a lot of bass to them. So if you like a lot of bass in your sound, you may have to adjust your amp settings. But if you like a lot of mid-range bite, these pickups are good. Now, these pickups kind of sound similar to Schecter pickups, where they have a lot of mid-range bite. These pickups have a lot of clarity too. So yeah, I've been really enjoying these. Another thing I like about this guitar, guys, it doesn't have any neck dive, which is surprising. With the strap pin there and here, used on Explorer type guitars, when you have the strap pin up here on the horn, you do get neck dive. This one, I didn't find no neck dive. You put it on with the strap, that's it. Another thing I'd like to point out in this video, guys, is Solar Guitars customer service. Now, if you've watched the previous video on this guitar, you'll know we had a little shipping damage incident. We had a slight crack at the neck pocket, and we had a few little finish imperfections. I contacted Solar Guitars about it. It took them roughly 2 or 3 days to get back with me. And yeah, they were super cool. They offered me several options to make up for that. They offered me a 10% off another guitar purchase if I purchased by the end of the year. They also offered me a partial refund on this guitar. I just took the partial refund because it wound up being more than what the 10% would have been off on the other guitar I kind of want to order maybe here in the future. So if you're kind of weary about Solar Guitars, about their customer service, in case you get something goes wrong, don't worry, they'll take care of you. So overall, guys, would I buy this guitar again? And would I recommend this guitar to you all? Absolutely. I would definitely buy this guitar again. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone that's looking for a White Explorer, especially in this price point, because they're super hard to find, and a good quality one is even harder to find. I mean, you can always go with the eBay China fakes, but it seems to me they all have that old big chunky neck. And, you know, that kind of gets old after a while. This one has a nice sleek neck. But if you're a fan of Jackson, LTD, Schecter, or Ibanez, those thin types of necks, then you'll feel right at home on this neck. Also had a comment on the previous video. Commenter wanted to know about this guitar versus the Harley Benton EX. He wanted to know, was this a full-size body? Whereas the Harley Benton EX is a smaller body. And this is a full-size guitar. The only difference is this one has a 24-inch scale neck, instead of like a 24 3/4 scale like a Gibson Explorer would have. If you have smaller hands, this might be a better option for you, really. But I'm used to guitars 24 3/4, 25.5-inch scale. And this guitar doesn't bother me at all. I adjusted to it real easy. But overall, guys, I would recommend this guitar to you, especially in this price range at about $300. You're getting a lot of cool factor here, and you're getting a great playing guitar. There is some little slight hiccups here and there, but these days, that's with just about any guitar. There's going to be a few things you don't like about it. But also, I'd like to mention, I did open this up, guys, and check the electronics in it. That's just your standard cheap electronics that you'd find in these types of guitars. Another thing I'd like to mention, the controls aren't shielded. There isn't no shielding paint or shielding tape in this. So that might be something you want to look into, guys, in the future. If you get one of these, is putting some shielding paint in that or some copper tape in that to kind of shield the electronics. But if you upgrade to active electronics, you shouldn't have to worry about that at all. So that's going to do it for today, guys. What do you think about the S by Solar E-Guitar? Overall, I think it's a great buy, guys. With a few little tweaks here and there and a few little upgrades, you'd have yourself a monster riff machine right here, or a shredder, either one. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you have any experience with the S by Solar guitar? If you do, let us all know your experience in the comments below. Next time, guys, that's going to do it for today. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and God bless.